case you don't know who I am, in case you haven't seen my YouTube channel before, my name is Andrew Westberg. That is at Andrew Westberg 1126. Well, remember a while back when I read out of the fairy tale book? The Big Golden Book of Fairy Tales? Remember that one? I read a couple of fairy tales out of this book. Let's go right to the credits. Nice interior lining here. Very nice book to read from. Retold by Leete-Hodge, illustrated by Beverly Manson. A Golden Book in New York. Western Publishing Company Incorporated, Racine, Wisconsin. 53404. So, we got the table of contents here. We have the Emperor's New Clothes, Snow White and Rose Red, Hansel and Gretel, Rumpelstiltskin, the Ugly Duckling, the Three Bears, the Little Fir Tree, the Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella, the Golden Goose, Jack and the Beanstalk. So, we're going to read Rumpelstiltskin, okay? I believe that starts on page 47. Thank you for watching, by the way. Oh, actually it starts on page 48. Rumpelstiltskin. Yeah. Let me sit up a little bit. So I'm going to read to you the fairy tale Rumpelstiltskin, which has a moral at the end of the story. Okay? It says, once upon a time there was a poor miller who had a beautiful daughter of whom he was very proud. He was always boasting about her, saying how clever she was and how she would make a fine queen. One day the king was riding by and saw the girl, admiring her beauty. The miller was quick to notice this and proudly told the king that his daughter was very clever. Why, she can spin straw into gold thread, he boasted. The king needed money for his armies, so he took the girl back to the palace where he locked her into a room filled with straw. A spinning wheel stood in the corner. Spin this into gold, ordered the king. You have until sunrise to do it, but if your father lied to me, it will be the worse for you. And he strode off, locking the door behind him. The poor girl looked around her, first at the pile of straw, and then at the spinning wheel. She knew she could not spin straw into gold, and she was frightened. She began to cry. Then she heard a faint scratching sound, low down on the door. As she watched, she saw the locked door opening, and a strange little man stood beside her. What is the matter? He asked. Why do you weep? I'm so unhappy, the poor girl said. The king has commanded me to spin this straw into gold, and I don't even know how to spin. The little man scratched his head. What will you give me if I do it for you? He asked. My necklace, said the girl, taking it off. The little man put the necklace into his pocket and sat down at the spinning wheel, and soon the room was filled with a whirring sound. The straw disappeared into bobbins of fine gold thread. How are you enjoying it so far? Next morning, the king was delighted to see so much gold in place of the straw, but he was a greedy man, and wanted more, so he ordered the girl to stay in the palace, and she was taken to a bigger room filled to the rafters with more straw to spin into gold. That night the poor girl began to cry again, for she knew she could not spin the straw. Once again the little man appeared and asked, "What will you give me if I spin this straw into gold for you?" "The ring from my finger," the girl replied, and he slipped that too into his pocket. He sat down, and the spinning wheel began to whir, while the girl watched in amazement as the straw disappeared into bobbins of gold thread, even more shiny than the first ones. But the king was not satisfied, and he took the girl to the biggest room she had ever seen. "If you spin this straw into gold by sunrise, you can be my queen," promised the king. He knew that the girl was both beautiful and clever, for already she had brought him much wealth. Scarcely had he gone before the little man appeared. "What will you give me this time?" he asked, looking at the straw. "I have nothing left to give you," said the girl, weeping, for she was very frightened. "Promise to give me your first child when you are a queen," said the little man. "Oh, yes, anything," promised the girl, and soon the spinning wheel began to whir. All night long the little man sat spinning, and the bales of straw were turned into fine golden bobbins of thread. The girl was delighted. Okay. How are you doing, by the way? Next day, the king saw that she had fulfilled her task, and he married her. They were very happy, and the girl soon loved him very much. She was happy in the palace, and there was great rejoicing when her son was born the following year. She had long forgotten all about the little man, but he remembered her promise. Early one morning, when she was playing with her baby, she came to see her and reminded her of her promise. He held out his arms to take the child, but she clung to her baby, pleading him not to take her son. "I will give you all the riches in the kingdom," she cried, "but please leave my baby. I will give you all the gold you can carry." "Oh, no, I don't want your gold," said the little man. "I want your son." The queen pleaded with him, tears falling on to her rich clothes. "Please, please, let me keep my son," she begged, until at last the little man relented. "Very well, you can keep your son, but only if you can guess my name in 3 days." And he disappeared. Okay. Remember, if I don't have your permission to show this to your child, you don't have to show this video to your child. But if you do, if you feel inviting and welcome to show it to your child, son or daughter, please feel very welcome to do so. All right, so it goes on to say, the queen smiled, for she was sure she would soon guess his name. She did not know that the little men did not have the same names as everyone else. She sent for all the books her servants could carry and sat up all night looking for names for the little man. She began with the letter A and went right on through the alphabet. Next day, when the little man came to see her, the queen asked him, "Is your name Elganon, Balthazar, or Caspar?" But he shook his head and danced with glee. She could not guess his name. It was the same the following morning. He shook his head when she asked, "Are you called Noah, Timothy, or Marmaduke?" The poor queen was distracted. Somehow she must find out the little man's name. She sent messengers all over the country to find out what other people called their children, and soon She had a list of names that stretched across the room. Somehow she knew that none of them was the right one, and she was very sad. Very late in the afternoon of the last day, one of her messengers rode in. Her clothes were dirty and mud-stained, and his cloak had been torn by brambles. He knelt before the queen, saying, "Your Majesty, I have not found any new names, but as I rode over the mountain, I came to the edge of the wood where the fox says good night to the hare, and I saw a little old cottage. In the garden, dancing around the fire, which was burning brightly, was a little man. He was singing a strange song." "Can you remember the words?" the queen interrupted, quivering with excitement. "Yes," said the messenger. "He was singing a little song. Today I brew, tomorrow I bake. The next day the queen's child I'll take. Little does she guess, poor dame, that Rumpelstiltskin is my name." "Rumpelstiltskin? What a funny name," said the queen. But she was very happy, for she felt at once that this was the right name and that her child was saved. The little man came in the morning, and the queen asked him, "Is your name Roger?" "No," said the little man. "Is it Henry, then?" asked the queen. "No, no, you'll never guess it," screamed the little man. "The child is mine." "Well, is it Rumpelstiltskin?" asked the queen. "The devil has told you! The devil has told you!" The little man jumped up and down with rage. "Rumpelstiltskin is my name." The little man was so angry he jumped and stamped his feet with such fury that he disappeared through the floor, and he was never seen again. All right. So what's the moral of the story here? Well, the moral of the story is that there'll come people in your lifetime, during your life, that will try to pull fast tricks on you and try to cheat your business. They'll say, "I'll give you what you want if you can give me this information," when in fact they never told you the information in the first place. "Can you guess my name? Can you tell me what this is?" Remember what I said? Giving the illusion that they told you at the beginning of the conversation what the information was. Well, they never gave it to you. It's a psychological trick. So, round comes the messenger, and we all know not to shoot the messenger. Comes the word of Jehovah in the form of Holy Spirit through somebody else that we may know, giving us that answer, that clue that will save the day, just in the nick of time, saved by the bell, right? So it might not be the devil's doing, it might be help from God, Jehovah, helping us, giving us a piece of information, that clue that we need to win the battle for that day, all right? So don't be fooled by people's malicious psychological lies. Don't be fooled by people's malicious slander. Keep your head up straight and be a proponent of truth, all right? My name is Andrew Westberg. Take care and have a great day.